What's up there, guys? This is Plato Mock from 86drive.com. I wanted to wish everybody a happy holidays. I'm just testing out this new image stabilizer stick that I got that will work with my GoPro camera and with the iPhone that I use. So I'm going to hopefully take this out to some of the car meets and maybe get some cool stable footage. I know in the past I've been trying to do sort of walking shots where you walk past maybe, the fronts of all the cars that are gathered at the meet, and, it ends up being kind of a shaky, jerky kind of video that, doesn't really look that great, maybe makes you dizzy when you're watching it. And so it was something that, kind of bothers me as somebody who's a fan of videos and car videos in particular, and I always sort of envied those people who had those really fancy rigs or dollies where they could have some really cool looking moving shots at some of these car meets and gatherings. So of course I don't want to spend a whole ton of money on that kind of thing, so I thought I'd try something fairly basic and simple. It's marketed as a stabilizer for video. So this is what the image stabilizer stick looks like. It's made by this company called Binko. I went up on Amazon and was just looking for camera stabilizers, and this came up. It looked pretty interesting. I read a couple of reviews on it, so I thought I would give it a shot. Now, if you're a Star Wars fan, you may think that this stabilizer stick has kind of a lightsaber look to it, which I think looks pretty cool. It is made out of, I believe, aluminum. It's got this really sort of rugged, industrial, heavy-duty look to it, and it feels that way too. It's very hefty and seems to be fairly well made. So hopefully it's going to be rugged enough to handle quite a bit of use. I plan on taking it out for various things whenever I want to shoot some video and on my travels. So we'll see how it holds up, but so far it looks pretty solid. Hopefully it won't have too many issues. What you will see in a second is that this is what it looks like when it's collapsed, and it pulls apart sort of into essentially three sections, which I'll show you in a second. But sort of this is the top part. This is the section that clamps onto your cell phone, which is what this particular setup is made for right now. There's a separate attachment that comes with the stabilizer stick that allows you to hook up a GoPro camera instead, so that's nice. It's got a clamp, spring-loaded sort of clamp section here that pretty securely holds your phone. So that's the top part. The middle part is here, and you'll see this when I pull this apart, but this is actually the piece that you hold on to when you're using the stabilizer stick. And then the last part is this bottom section here, which is fairly lengthy, but it's actually the weighted portion of the stick, and that's going to be used as a counterweight that helps you maintain a balance when you've got your cell phone or your camera attached to the stick and you're moving about. Now this last part here, this is actually the longest part of the stick, but this is the weighted portion of the stabilizer stick, and what that does is the weight serves as a counterweight, so that when you've got the phone or camera mounted and you're using the stick you're holding from this portion here, this bottom part extends out and acts as a counterweight that helps you balance the weight of your phone or your camera up top. or down at the bottom, because the way that this stick works is it can actually be reconfigured, both to use as a camera up top orientation, or you can actually turn it upside down and use it as a down low type of camera mount, which I think is going to be kind of cool for some of these car club meets and car shows and that kind of thing, where you sometimes get cool shots if you shoot really down low, to get a different angle looking at cars and wheels and things like that. As you can see within the stick, there are these telescoping portions, and essentially what you can do is pull apart the stick going that way and that way from the centerpiece, and the length of the stick is fairly adjustable, and you'll see why it's important to have that adjustability in a moment. So this is what the stabilizer stick looks like extended. It's not fully extended, but this is sort of what it's set to balance out the weight when I have the iPhone that I use mounted into the stick. So what you do with this stick is you grab it by the center here, this center piece, and let's do a little close-up of that. It's actually got this kind of, I don't think I can quite call it a gyroscope, but it's kind of got some gimbals, and so what you can see is that up to a certain degree it allows a little bit of free play. So if you hold it by this part, this centerpiece allows you to sort of move, and as you can see, I'm moving the centerpiece quite a bit, and because the weight is doing some work, it's actually balancing the overall stick, which in turn would hold the phone or the camera fairly steady when you're moving. We'll be playing around with this and seeing how it works. I'm just going to do a little bit of a pan and see how that's going. Kind of a bright background there, but that's not really the fault of the stick or the stabilizer. It's really more the fault of the guy operating the camera. But yeah, the panning seems to work fairly well. I'll just walk around, see how things look as I move around the house. You'll have to excuse the empty looking living room that I have here, kind of lacking in some furniture. Oh, let's look at the backyard instead. That's nice and scenic. Well, it's a little washed out, but well, seems to be working pretty well. Well, that's it for now. I guess I will get out there and start using this stabilizer stick, and hopefully we'll get some cool results as I attend various car meets and events and get some video footage out there. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again soon.